SMT Nation, we back. We're going to be talking about Dish. I think this is an important topic. I mean, it's really time for them to show and prove in their postpaid and their retail. We got to talk about their pay TV, the prepaid with Boost Mobile. There are so many things that are on the downside and the negative, and we need to start seeing some positivity, especially the postpaid, the network. They got to build it. People are speculating, should they sell Boost Mobile? Man, there's a lot of stuff in there. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to be talking about fiber, 5G, AT&T, and Verizon as they build out their fiber networks. All right, starting first with the Dish side of things. This article is really good. A lot of key points. There's a lot of bullet points, and then also these headers for the article paragraphs here. So we're going to stop and look at each one. All right, Dish execs stay positive despite 5G funding shortfall. Customer exodus. This is Mike Dano, dated August 3rd, 2022, light reading. I'll go ahead and link this. According to Dish Network Chairman Charlie Ergen, the company's second quarter was one of the most productive periods ever. Dish managed to switch on its 5G network in more than 100 cities during the quarter, just in time to meet the FCC deadline for building out the network. All right, now in that respect, I agree. That's a great accomplishment. They hit their mark. They got the first checkpoint of their network build with the FCC. And then there is, of course, what is considered to be the difficult part, which is raising capital. Man, it is expensive to build out a network, especially a 5G network that is being built from scratch. And they're going to be relying on just a few different channels of spectrum. So they've got some low band, they've got some mid band. Building out mid band requires a lot of densification. And that's the hard part, building sites. All right. Now, something he mentioned here, he's talking about the credit market. So this means getting loans. You need business credit. They're going to have to build this network. They need to borrow money to do so. He describes it as being choppy but available, adding he expects to pay between 5% but less than 15% interest. 5 to 15 is a heck of a range, guys and gals. 5 sounds great, 15 sounds rough. All right, so there's probably somewhere in between a happy median there. It says here Dish has 1.5 billion in senior notes due in March 23. All right, so we'll be having that conversation later on next year in the spring. Dish's initial plan was to spend $10 billion in 7 years to build out this 5G network. And of course, Charlie is sticking to that. It looks like he's continuing to say, hey, we might even spend less. That's crazy. All right, now let's talk about their consumer losses. Now, specifically, the only operational thing that they have in wireless is Boost Mobile. They got that in the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. We covered that in a video earlier. They lost 210,000 retail wireless subscribers. They're now down to 7.87 million. I'm pretty sure that they bought that business with like 9 million customers. So the business has lost over 1 million wireless subs since August of 2020. You start counting up those quarters, and we're averaging somewhere between 100 to 200,000 losses per quarter. This is something that we've, kept track of very regularly on my channel. And obviously they could buy the band 26 800 megahertz. It used to be Sprint's, now it's T-Mobile, and I don't know where they have the capital to do that. Right? You're going to come in and buy that stuff. If I remember, I think it was $1.8 billion. Yeah, I don't think they have it currently. And they got to launch the network. It's got to get bigger. They got to get people on it, use it, paying for it, that sort of thing. Next up, we got this 70% of the U.S. population by June 2023. That pretty much will have to get every major market covered with towers, right? They got the voice over NR technology that kind of puts them on the cutting edge and the bleeding edge of 5G, right? Carrier aggregation and the standalone networking. They've got these new deals with Samsung, and they're doing all of this, stuff with the cloud and ORAN. They're going to they're going to be tested here, right? They're going to have to put all this where the rubber meets the road. It says here that Dish is operating 5,000 cell sites, is adding 1,000 cell sites per month to its 5G network. So this is like the first time we've actually heard some kind of solid numbers from Dish. All right, it says here Dish hopes to operate 15,000 cell sites by next year, adding that he expects the company to be 2/3 of the way to the goal by the end of the year. Now that's an interesting number. In terms of cell sites, Verizon's over like 60, 70, 80,000. When you count all the small cells. AT&T is probably around there. T-Mobile is probably around there. The To have 15,000 is it's nothing to sneeze at, but they're not even close to what they need to do, right? Shows you how much of a daunting task this is. In speaking to fixed wireless access, that would be, home internet over a cellular network. He said, what did Ergen say here? He said that he doesn't like how the U.S. government is allocating funding for broadband in rural areas. He said, I would prefer that the government didn't pick winners and losers. Okay, so he's got a problem here. But it looks like he says he expects enterprises to be among the most profitable customers, followed by postpaid customers. And he said fixed wireless access customers would be next in line, followed by prepaid. So it looks like they have a hierarchy. Expect Dish to prioritize in that sequence the profitable customers. So that's enterprise, then postpaid phone, then fixed wireless, then prepaid. All right, so they're gonna pay to play, right? And lastly, they're losing pay TV subscribers. That's no surprise. The revenues are down. They're down now under 10 million pay TV subscribers. We covered that in the video earlier. Now let's kind of get to the second piece here. And I was kind of perusing this a little bit earlier. Dish not interested in selling Boost. All right, link to this one in the description as well. I never really thought about this, but I guess Dish, if they decided they didn't want any parts of prepaid business, they could always sell Boost. The problem there is it's at a point where you wouldn't get much of a return. People currently look at Boost as a less than viable option in terms of the marketplace. More people are leaning towards Cricket. More people are leaning towards Metro by T-Mobile. Um, Track Phone. You think about all these different brands, the Walmart brands. Boost Mobile has lost a lot of cachet. They used to be known as a competitor, right? And especially in markets where the Sprint network was competitive, it was a great option for some people who were looking to save money. They had competitive rate plans and promos, and they gave device deals. And under the Dish ownership, they have been less than competitive, and they kind of changed the way that the network access goes, with unlimited data and 2G speeds and all of that. And a lot of customers left, right? So they've been losing subscribers. So the question becomes, why not just sell the Boost business and be done with it, right? And that came up during Dish's quarterly conference call today. And the guys kind of spoke to it. Representation, Dish co-founder Charlie Ergen, he said it's not a necessity for us to run and own Boost. Here's a quote from what he was saying here. He said, we've said that we're in the wholesale business, so our capacity can be sold to others in the industry. So we're not trying to monopolize our network. I guess the answer is it's not a necessity, but today we prefer that it belongs with us. So they're going to continue to stick with Boost and they're going to operate it. I mean, there is some ARPU there. They do make money, but they're not growing and they're losing a lot of customers. In speaking to the Boost Infinite brand, it's an opportunity to come in fresh and do things in a slightly different way and a more aggressive way. It's on our own platform. So unlike what we've been doing with Boost, we are now operating on our own platform. Guys, all that is true, but we don't even know what that means. We haven't seen any postpaid descriptions, any business plans, retail space. We don't know any of that stuff. And then it goes into prepaid versus postpaid here. All right, so let's just start by saying this. Prepaid is less profitable than postpaid. You would think that postpaid would make more sense for Dish. So I think that's where a lot of that whole, should they just sell the Boost brand and all of that comes into play, losing customers and get some of that return. But you would think they'd be really into postpaid and they should really focus on that. We'll see as the network builds and cities begin to launch. They can kind of get all the orders situation under control. I tried to order. It didn't let me. I tried to put my payment in. It didn't let me. I couldn't process. Horrible, horrible situation. I'll continue to try, but who knows how this is going to end up. Last story of the day, AT&T and Verizon tout fiber firepower for 5G. Link in the description for this one. We've been saying this for a long time, and this is why I consider AT&T to be in the catbird seat when it comes to 5G. Everybody always speculates, who's going to be the best 5G network when it's all said and done. Well, it's never really going to be done, but as it's being said, A lot of people say, oh, well, T-Mobile got the jump. They got the 5G stimulus and the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. They got a 2-year, jump out ahead in building out their mid-band 5G ultra capacity layer. And all that's true. But I think what truly makes a 5G network superior over others would be the ability to have high capacity backhaul or fiber run to the sites to really push the spectrum. So even T-Mobile with its incredible spectrum position, they're going to need high capacity fiber to push it. We always make analogies here, right? You got to give these towers juice. You got to give them a boost, and that's what it does. And I think that's why when you look at this title, AT&T and Verizon tout fiber power for 5G, they're the fiber owners. T-Mobile doesn't really own its own fiber. They've got that little bit of pilot fiber in the New York Manhattan market or whatever. But this is what gives, I think, AT&T the advantage. They run fiber for fiber to premise to people's homes, fiber for business, fiber for enterprise, and they also run fiber to their own tower sites. And they have mentioned on multiple investor conferences they want to run, fiber to 75% of their sites, and they want that to be native fiber, AT&T blue fiber, right? So I definitely give, a company like AT&T the upper hand. When you look at 5G deployments, you need cell density, you need high capacity fiber, you need spectrum. I mean, it's all those things. And them being the fiber owner allows them to upgrade these sites to capacity on demand. And it gives them the advantage that they can also lease to other companies, and it's a revenue stream, a very serious revenue stream, like paying rent monthly. It's phenomenal. And the more they upgrade their sites, the more they densify their network. You can do a couple of things with it. And this is where Verizon comes into play. You offload your wireless network, you have fixed wireless access, dedicated 5G home, 5G business. Millimeter wave has proven to be the ultimate capacity layer, right? So you can turn a multi gig circuit of fiber into essentially wireless fiber broadcasting in millimeter wave, right, with those super high frequencies. So hey, look, no arguments for me here. AT&T and Verizon definitely in the catbird seat in 5G because of that fiber ownership. And T-Mobile, according to their president of technology, Neville Ray, he's comfortable with their position. They're not interested in running their own fiber network. They'll continue to lease. Hopefully for T-Mobile, they can count on more competition coming to enterprise grade fiber, more providers laying their own, and then those customers can choose whichever, competitor gives them the best price. Maybe that's what Neville Ray and the company at T-Mobile are thinking is, we're in a golden era of fiber, and all these companies are going to run it and install it, and we'll just choose who gives us the best price, and we're good with that. But the problem there is you'll never be the owner, right? You'll never have the true owner economics on your side. Not to say you can't run an effective business, you most definitely can, but there is something to the owner economics. And I think AT&T and Verizon, because of their size, their revenue streams, their ability to produce profit, and then just they've got that precedence. AT&T's been a wireline business. Verizon has been a wireline business. And they purchased MCI and all these different companies, to lay fiber for them and such. That I think that's to their advantage. I think it definitely is. What do you guys think, though? Comment down below on any of the stories we covered. The AT&T and Verizon fiber piece, kind of keeping T-Mobile in the dark when it comes to fiber. Dish possibly looking into selling Boost. They're denying it. They say no, they'll keep it long term. What do you guys think of that? And then also kind of like the direction of the network build and the funding. Very daunting task Dish has on them on their hands right now. Comment down below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Wanted to do this longer video because I won't be able to do a podcast until the end of the week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload. Links in the description for my Patreon page. Support us there and get early access to content and exclusive videos not found anywhere else. Also have my Gmail address for all business inquiries, and my Twitter handle is down there as well. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.